In this video, I want to show you how to create a custom drill down that lets you select pre-created date range filters for your Power BI report. I'm going to show you how to build it step by step from scratch so you can follow along and do it yourself. All of that and more. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Fernan and welcome to the Solutions Abroad YouTube channel where we cover tips, tricks, and best practices when working with Power BI. I upload new videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when a new one is out. So in order to easily explain what I mean by custom date range filters, I want to show you this demo report that I prepared for this video. So here's a very simple Power BI report that just shows the total views for a fictional YouTube channel across a certain period of time. You'll see we have our main table here called views, and it just gives you the total number of views for that YouTube channel for different dates in time. Along with this, we've also created a DAX table, and this essentially is just what we use as our date table. In this case, we create a relationship between the calendar and the views table. And when you go to the report page here, we have two visuals. We have the total views here, which just is the aggregation, the sum of the total views that we have currently. And we have a line chart here that just shows the total views across a certain period of time. And as a user, you probably want to see the total number of views in different date ranges. And don't get me wrong, with this setup, you can already do the date ranges as you want. So let's say we want to be able to select different date ranges in our table here. We can simply just drag the dates here. We can create, let's say we can change this into a filter, change this into, well, this is already a slider. And as you change the range here, so does the total views and the range at the bottom. And in normal cases, this would be enough. So your users will have to manually adjust the range. However, a lot of the times what I find is users tend to just use set date ranges. They don't really need this type of granular control. So for example, instead of seeing or specifying specific dates in time, they just want to see, let's say, the views for month to date or views for the last 7 days. And making this simpler, or making this into a simple drop-down, makes it easier for your users to use and view your report. And for this video, I was actually inspired by how the drop down works in YouTube Analytics. If you're a YouTuber, you're probably familiar with this. And I want to copy this way that it's being done here. And I noticed also that I've actually covered it a couple of months ago. However, I wanted to update that video because that was a long time ago. And also I didn't really try to mimic what happened or what is being used in YouTube Analytics. So I want to expand on it and show you how to add other date ranges to it beyond, let's say, last 30, last 60, last 90 days, things like this. So the first thing that we need to do is to create the drop down. And to do that, we need to create a new DAX table. So we're going to go to the table view here. We're going to create new table and we're going to name this one dates filter. And let's just create a variable here today. And I'm just doing this so we can hold the today value here. Then we're gonna have a return. And then we're gonna create or add columns. So for add columns, first of all, we're gonna define a calendar period. And for the start date, we want to use today, -7, and then the last date is today. That will be the calendar. And then we're gonna create a new column called filter. And then we're gonna add a value on it called last 7 days. And I think that's it. So if I hit enter, you'll see that it's created as a DAX table. And this DAX table contains 7 rows. It gives us 7 days, which is, if you notice, is relative to the current dates that we are currently on. So at the moment, as of recording this video, this is currently the 9th of December. And what it's giving us is giving us the last 7 days from that day. So essentially what we're creating is a DAX table that contains all the dates that we need to use to filter the calendar table, which in turn filters the views table. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the data or the model view here. We're going to drag the date column to connect to our calendar. You just have to make sure that the relationship is a bi-directional relationship. So what this means is that if you change or use this date filter table as a filter, it will filter out anything in the calendar, which in turn filters out the view. So that's how you or we will be able to use this as a filter context for our report. So we're going to go back here and we're going to create a new filter. We're going to add date filter here. And if we change it to a drop down, we now have a drop down, but you'll see that obviously we will just have one option here, the last 7 days. So when I clicked that last 7 days, it filters out the page that we have here to only show us the total views for the last 7 days. So remember, because we created that bi-directional relationship between our date filter and the dates, we can now use this table as a means to filter out the views table in our model. What I also wanted to do is to add the date range above the filter here, just to show our users what they're actually filtering and what is the range that they're selecting in this filter. And we can do that pretty easily with a measure. So let's just create that one. I'm gonna name it date range. We're gonna say min today, sorry, min of whatever dates context we have. And then I'm gonna say max. And if we just add it in a text box here, date range, save, and just make it a little bit smaller. And there you go. So it gives your users indication of what filter they've selected and what date range it has done accordingly. So now let's add more options for our users to use so that when they use this drop down, they'll have some more options to filter their view by. We're gonna go back to our date filter here, and we're gonna add some more columns or some more tables similar to this. However, what we're going to do is, because we're going to create multiple tables and just kind of add below or stack them up, sort of appending them. So to do that is we're going to actually use something called union, which allows us to kind of concatenate or append tables on top of each other. So we're going to use add column here, and we're going to do another one at the bottom, like so. So what else did we have? So we also wanted the last 28 days. And let's just keep adding. So last 90 days we said. So I'm just trying to copy what is currently there in YouTube Analytics and to show you how to do something equivalent in Power BI. So we're gonna copy this next one, and last 365 days. So it's giving us some error here. So let's have a look at our model here. So I'm just going to delete this relationship that we have here just to see if that fixes the problem. Yeah, so we're just gonna redrag that relationship here in our calendar to redefine that relationship. So you can see here that the flow of the filter or of this relationship is upwards, which we actually want to change into both, which is what I was telling you before. So now that you've done that, here we go. Let's go back to our filter here. And you'll see if you select different ranges, you will now be able to see different ranges here in your reports. You'll see it gives you the range, so the last 90 days. So it will give you, what is this, October, and then the last 365 days, which is all the way back to last year, same day last year. Before we move on, I just want to fix something here. So the ordering here is a bit funny, and I want to just fix that just to show you how to fix it. So we're going to create a new column on each of these tables called order, and we're just gonna do that. So we're just gonna use it as a reference for us to be able to define what range they should show in our dropdown. So we're gonna say 1, 2, 3, right? And if I show you what that looks like in our table, if I go back to our date filter here, so you see it just shows you for the last 365 days, it was order 3. And then for the other ones, it will be last 90 days, it will be 2. So now all you need to do is go to the filter, make sure it's selected on the right hand side, and then you go to sort by column and sort by order. So what it will do is, if we go back here, so now that is sorted by the custom sorting that we've discussed. So last 7, 28, 90, 365 days. So the next one that I want to add is month to date. So in this case, we just want to see the current month. So at the moment, the current month is December. So I just want to see the total views for December month to date. So we're gonna add that new table here. So we're gonna, just to make our life easier, we're just gonna copy this one. And for this one, we're gonna change this one to the current month. So we're going to change the order to 4. So the next one is our calendar here. So we want the range that we want. So from which date to what date. So obviously today is where we want to leave it at. And then from here, we just want to create a new date. So it will be date of, let's say, year today. And then also month. Give me month of today, pretty simple. And then the day is 1. So just give me from the first of the current month to the last day of the month. So pretty easy. So if we just, oops, didn't change the value there. So for this one, we can probably just write format today. We just want to show the month that we want to show here. So the current month is December, so I just want to show December in our dropdown. So in this one, we're just gonna say month, 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 like that. So if we go back to our filter, you'll see it just shows December and it gives us the number of views for this month. So the next two things that I wanted to add is the same, in the same kind of vein. So we want to show the previous month, which at the moment right now will be November, and have the option to also see October by itself. So we just want to be able to see the current month to date, the previous month, and the month before that. So to do that, we're actually going to need another variable. I think this will be the last variable that we'll need today. So we're going to say end of month, and we're going to use this function called EO month. We're going to say, just give me the month today minus 1. So this will just give us the end of month for the previous month. Now that's done. We're going to just copy this one, and we're going to just simply replace this one with end of month. And then also all of these will need to be end of month. And then this one as well. And change that to 5. So let's have a look at that, if that worked. So there you go. So November, it shows November. It filters November 2021, and it just gives us the November numbers. Perfect. So let's finish that off. Let's add the one previous month before this. So actually, so let's just make another one, another variable, just to make it simpler. End of 2. Let's just end of month 2, just to keep it simple. And then today, -2 instead of -1. We'll copy this one. Order 6. End of, oops. This will be end of 2 months. Just replace everything else with end of 2 months. And there we go. So you should be able to select November, October, and December. Simple as. There are 2 more that I want to show. So I want to show you how to add the lifetime option, which is actually one of the simplest ones. So we're going to do add columns once again. We're going to change this one to lifetime. Order is 7. And in here, what's really simple is we're just gonna use calendar auto. And if you've never used calendar auto before, it just basically generates the full range of dates that you have in your data set. So in this case, what is the maximum and the minimum dates that is currently in the views table. So if we go here and choose lifetime, it just gives us the whole lifetime of what we have in our Power BI report. So it will be similar to like basically just not having selected anything, right? So the last 2 that I wanted to add is the year to date, which is just gives us the total number of views for the current year now, and also another option for the previous year. So this one is actually one of the simplest ones. So we're going to do copy. We're gonna order this one 7. We're gonna change this one to year of today. So for the calendar, we need to choose the range, right? So we're gonna go back to using today here. And for the range, we want to ask the beginning of the year. So whatever the year is of today, and what is the month will be just 1, and today. And if you hit enter, let's just check what that will show. Where are we? So 2021, which is exactly what we needed. It's just ordered incorrectly, so we didn't do that. If we hit 8, go back to our filter. So 2021, it gives us from January to the current date now, which is December. And finally, let's add the last one, which is the ability to see the previous year. So we just copy and paste that one. Order 9. It will be year today -1. So in this last one, we just need to add another date here. It's just because we need to show the previous end of year. So in this case, it will be year today -1. We want 12, and then 31. It's just the 31st of like the previous year, basically. So we're gonna do this year today -1. If you hit enter, let's see if that worked. There you go, 2020. The range is from the 1st to the 31st, and the actually it says 2021. So let's have a look. So we actually didn't, just need to put the -1 outside the year. And there you go. So it gives us the total views for the previous year, which is 2020. So here you go. So you now have the ability to choose different ranges pre-selected and pre-created for you in Power BI. Thanks for watching. As usual, give this video a like if you found it useful. Give it a dislike if you didn't, so I know to do better for next time. Ask your questions in the comment section box below so I can help you and you can help others. If you really like this video, we have a Patreon page where you can support the channel and get exclusive perks like early access, demo files, and credits at the end of these videos. Thanks again for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.